Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Joy. Welcome back. We're so glad to have you all here and all of our other regulars. We're so glad to have you
Yes.
on this fantastic Tuesday.
Yes, and if you are new here, this is Tuesday Talks with the Conways. I am Courtney.
And I'm Chris. We're very excited about this week's topic.
Yes.
Very, very excited. So we'll kind of chit chat a little bit for a moment while we give everyone a chance to join us. Good evening, Redina. Glad to have you all here,
Hello.
and all of our Instagram friends too. We would like to remind you that if you want to go back and watch any of your previous podcasts, you can view them on YouTube, the videos. But also, if you need an audio podcast to listen to while you're in the car or you're out walking, feel free to look on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We've got somebody, Diana from Puerto Rico.
Canada.
Yes, on Ontario, Ashley's journey. Thank you so much for joining us. We have people from
glad you're
all
here.
over.
Yeah.
Yes, welcome, welcome, welcome.
And also a reminder, not just with the Spotify's, but with the recipes are now on the blog going forward. So I think it's the last like 4 or 5, maybe a few extras
Mhm.
are on the blog. So you don't have to go searching through the Facebook page anymore.
Mhm. Absolutely.
They're on Healthy's blog. So I'm excited about that. So
Yes. And on the podcast front, there are lots of other healthy
Mm-hmm.
coaches that have lots of amazing content. So
Yes.
feel free to give them a share too. So it's
There's-
not just us.
And there's also other meetings on other nights as well. I think it's like $5.
Yeah, on Facebook, you can
Yeah.
join the member group, and for $5, you can have access to a little bit more exclusive content.
I know Joy goes to the meetings and absolutely loves them. Correct me if I'm wrong, Joy, but she says they're amazing. So
Yes, and those meetings tend to go a little longer. I think those meetings are about an hour long,
Mhm.
where ours is just a little bit shorter, 30 minutes. So feel free to give those a try if you'd like. And let all hi on Instagram. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, yes, we're very, very excited about this week. If you notice any themes, a lot of our themes have a lot of connected
Mhm.
pieces, so you'll probably hear us say some of the same comments
Mhm.
over and over, and that's mainly because a lot of this stuff is just really connected. It's very important, and also repetition is key. A lot of times, if we want to remember something, it's best to go ahead
Yes.
and just repeat it over and over again. Like, you've got this. You can do this. We're here for you. Just repeat those things, those
Mhm.
kind of mantras, and kind of help encourage yourself too. So that's another reason why sometimes we repeat a lot of comments
Yeah.
just to make them more memorable. Yes, Joy mentions they're $5.14 per month, and they're hour-long meetings.
Yes.
And I believe they're
Radina
through
also-
Zoom.
Yes, and Radina also says she joined, and the meetings are fantastic. So
Yes, so give those a join if you would like to. But yes, if you want to go ahead and introduce
Yes.
our amazing topic this week.
Tonight we are talking about calories, calorie counting, what calories are, just basically all about calories. Because some people just, when you're on a health journey, some people don't know about calories. Some people don't know what you need to look for. Some people, and whether you're on a calorie plan, a keto plan, a bites plan, calories are still important.
Mhm.
So
And
we're gonna talk about that.
sometimes people have a misunderstanding of calories
Yeah.
too, and we'll be talking about that too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
So Just to begin, calories are the heart of weight loss. Any plan you use, not just healthy, but any weight loss plan at all, uses a calorie deficit. That is how you lose weight, is through a calorie deficit. You will not lose weight if you do not have a calorie deficit. So anything, even like keto, those use calorie deficits.
Mhm.
And that's just how it is. So calories are the heart of weight loss, and weight gain. Have too many calories, you're going to gain weight. Have less calories, you lose weight. But calories is what fuels your body.
Mhm.
I'm talking breathing, walking, muscle movements, circulation, sleep,
Digestion of your food.
everything.
Everything you do burns calories and use calories. It's basically like your fuel.
Yes. And in order to lose weight, you want to consume less calories than you burn.
Absolutely. And so that's something that's going to be very, very important is to keep an eye on that, but have a really good understanding of what calories are, to not be afraid of calories, but just have an understanding of what your body needs too.
Yes. Because calories, they're a measure of energy. And you get them from foods and drinks. It literally gives you your energy to live,
hmm
to do the things, to function.
hmm
It is what gives you that energy.
So that's why it's important to not think of calories as something that's bad.
hmm
You need calories to fuel your body. So that's kind of one of the biggest misconceptions. Calories are bad.
hmm
Or you try it have the least amount of calories possible. It's not really going to be the healthiest
Yes.
take
Yes.
to have.
Yes, calories are not bad. Calories not something that you do not need, or need as few of as possible. Because like I said, they literally help you function. And if you don't have enough, you're not going to feel good.
hmm
And it's going to be kind of counterproductive. But we'll talk a little bit more about too few calories later. But
And how it's and why it's important to have some.
yes, but the biggest thing we can tell you when it comes to calories is tracking.
hmm
Track everything. You know, I say it all the time. Track every BLT, every bite, lick, and taste. Track everything, so you can see where you're at. I suggest to people who are just starting, if you are just starting your health journey, if you're just starting and you don't know where to start, just go in and track your calories. Healthy does have a calorie counting plan, and even the bites plans you can double track. We'll talk about that too, but go in and track your calories. Don't worry about a deficit, don't worry about anything. Go in for a week is what I suggest,
hmm
and just track
Get
and
a
just see
baseline.
where you're at.
hmm
You might be surprised how much you're eating. I have gone and been like, I don't eat that much. What? No, y'all, it was a lot. So go in, especially if you're going to a restaurant. Like I would literally go to like Burger King and eat 2,000 calories in one sitting and not realize it.
hmm
So go in for a week and track without worrying about a deficit, just to see where you're at. And it might be eye-opening. You might realize you're not eating as awfully as you think you are,
hmm
but go in and track for a week without worrying about deficit or anything.
And then once you have that baseline, you can then go and see where you're at, how many you had. I mean, and look for things that you might want to trim and kind of to start the reduction. You don't have to cut everything out right away. First, you can maybe start with, sodas, or cut out with extra sweets, those types of things. But take it one step at a time and just start that kind of decline and get your body used to those fewer calories and thinking smart. And so don't just cut out everything all at once.
Yes, because one thing that happens sometimes is when people go on a diet, or, start a new health journey, they go from eating all these calories to eating a lot less. Like they cut their calories by like 1,000, 2,000, and their body's struggling because whether you're eating too much or not, your body's used to that.
hmm
So you're going to be hungry all the time. So kind of cutting it down a little bit at a time
hmm
really does help, instead of just drastically cutting your calories all at once. Um, so cutting it by like getting that baseline and then cutting it by, maybe 300 or 400 a day.
hmm
Then if you need to cut it more, cut it by a little bit more until you get to where you're supposed to be.
hmm
But just give yourself some time and just cut something out here and there. If you, like you said, if you can cut out sodas, cut out sodas.
hmm
If you can cut out, that sweet treat at night, cut out that sweet treat at night. But just find where you can trim.
hmm And as Joy mentions, we'll talk about this a little bit later too, that she finds that 6 smaller meals are sometimes more beneficial than 3 big meals. Definitely, there's no one rule for eating, and there's no reason why you have to just eat 3 meals.
Mhm.
But we'll definitely talk about that a little bit more later. But Sherry,
Hi,
we're
Sherry.
so glad to have you here watching us live too. So welcome. Sherry usually catches some of our recordings because she's busy, but we're
Mhm.
glad you're here live with us. But yes, so it can be eye-opening on how many calories you're consuming. But for example, drinks caught me probably by the biggest surprise.
Mhm.
I loved sodas. I'm from the South. Courtney's from the South too, but we don't claim her because she doesn't like sweet tea. But I love sweet tea. But that's a lot of sugar and a lot of
And if
calories.
you're in the South,
It's a lot.
it's a lot of sugar.
A lot of sugar.
I like I said, I don't drink sweet tea, but everybody that drinks it that I know says it has to have a lot of
So
sugar.
down here in the South, when we make our sweet tea, it's more like syrup because it's it's
I mean, when
kind
I
of thick.
saw my mom make sweet tea, I was like, "What are you doing?" I mean, like, insane amount of sugar.
And I didn't just sweet tea, but like when we were kids and drinking Kool-Aid, buckets and buckets and buckets of
I did
Kool-Aid
drink the Kool-Aid
with a
and it had a
lot
ton of
of
sugar.
sugar.
Yeah.
So it just really was drastic. Like the other day, we were at a small group and they had it was themed. It was like a Mexican night, and they had those Mexican sodas, and they looked so good, and the flavors looked good, but it was like 190 calories. For me, I'd rather eat my calories than drink my calories because
Mhm.
food, generally speaking, is a little bit more filling or sustaining than liquid. So I happily drank some water and then had some fajitas
Yep. Our exception is delicious coffees. We will splurge on those and have,
occasionally.
like, the
Maybe
higher
maybe once
calorie.
a week we might
Yeah.
go get a fancy coffee that has all the milk and cream and
Yeah,
sugar
but
and
it's
all that stuff.
rare. It's rare. But that's probably the one thing, like, calorie filled thing that sorry, there's a bug that just hit my like a gnat. But that's like the one like calorie filled thing that I will drink. It's coffee. But most of my coffees are only like 30 or 40 calories. So,
Mhm.
whatever.
And we've also started doing something a little bit new this week with our coffees. We switched over to the high calorie milk,
High protein,
high protein. Sorry,
which does
not
have
high
more
calorie. It does
calories.
have a little bit more calories, but it's protein. So we have a grocery store here called Food City that has their own brand of like a high protein.
It has even more protein than Fairlife.
Has 18 grams of protein in 1 cup of milk. So I started doing that in our coffee, but making your calories a little bit more meaningful.
Hmm.
But yeah, so we'll occasionally do sweets in our sugars.
Yes.
Um, Joy mentioned that she found a few months ago she wasn't consuming enough calories, and that's why she wasn't
Mhm.
losing. And that's definitely one of her bigger points towards the end. But we can go ahead and talk about that now. But
Yes.
you definitely need to have enough calories. It's like stoking a little fire for your metabolism. If you eat too little, it will slow down and you won't lose.
Yes, and that's one of the misconceptions with calories is that your goal is to eat as few calories as possible. No, my goal is to have consume as many calories as possible while still losing weight. I did a body scan the other day, and the lady was like, "Bare minimum, you need 2,100 calories." Granted, I am 280 pounds,
Mhm.
so, but she said bare minimum 2,100 calories, and I was not consuming that much even. And she said that's bare minimum, but if I'm active, it needs to be more.
Oh yeah, so that's something you
So,
really need to factor in. If you're active and you're doing strength training or other things, you do need to eat a little bit more. So if your base calories is 2,000, but then you burn like 1,500 calories in a day, you might need to up that up a little bit.
yes, but like Joy said, she started consuming more and actually started losing. And some people like it blows people's minds that you consume more and start losing more. Your body will store fat if you are not consuming enough calories. So if you are plateauing,
Mhm,
look at your calories and make sure you're consuming enough because you might not be consuming enough.
mhm.
You need more than you think. 1,200 calories is not enough. I'm sorry. It's just not.
Unless you're like our kid who's
Like I said,
5.
that's what a toddler needs.
Yeah, we talked to her pediatrician, and she did the calculation. Our toddler, who's really rambunctious and and moves a lot, needs about 1,200 calories. So if you're an adult and you're trying to get to 1,200 calories and you're bigger than my 3.5 foot daughter, you might need a little bit more
Yeah,
calories.
yeah.
But protein, as Joy said, she gets 30 grams of protein in her coffee every morning. Protein is so good to help you be more full. Also, it makes sure your muscles don't lose mass while you're losing weight. So
Mhm.
you're losing fat and not muscle. So that's definitely very
Yes,
important.
absolutely. But also back to the tracking, no matter which plane you're on, you can look at the calories. If you are on pro, double tracking is an option. I believe that is a pro feature, but we do it. We can see all of our macros, our calories, as well as the bites.
We love the bites,
We love
but
the
it's
bites.
important to look at the
Mhm.
macros too.
Yes, absolutely. So if you want that option, that is there for you where you can still see the calories, because sometimes when you're doing the bites plans, if
Mhm,
you're not like if you have like we're on Better Balance, there are so many zero bite foods,
mhm,
but because of that, if we're not consuming enough of the zero bite foods, we're not consuming enough calories. You
mhm,
really have to lean into those zero bite foods in order to consume your calories. So make sure you have those calories there if you do have pro. If not, you won't have that feature. But if you do have pro, um make sure you have that, so you make sure you're consuming enough.
mhm. And on the opposite too, you have to be careful about how many
Because you
zero
could be
bites.
having too many zero bite foods. Like,
Yes.
I have seen someone that literally ate a whole entire pound of chicken because it was zero bite.
Mhm,
And I'm like, that doesn't work that way. Like, zero bites does not mean zero calories.
mhm.
It's there so you can have technically as much as you want, but you still have to be mindful.
Mhm. So the zero bite foods or the bite programs in general are there to help steer you to the more healthier foods and the more nutrient
Hmm.
dense foods. So the chicken breast is going to be low, zero bites and a little bit more healthier for you than, let's say, a chocolate chip muffin. So it's supposed to help, and that's one of the reasons we're the big proponents to the better balance plan is it helps you build a better relationship with food and better habits so you know what you can eat more of, not that you can eat unlimited, and then what you should probably eat a little bit less of.
Yeah.
So it helps keep you give you a better balance.
Hmm.
Hence the plan name. But yes, the bite plans are in general just to help give you a good idea of what to eat more of and what to eat less of.
Yes, and Joy said she switched from a Bites plan to Calorie Command, and it was the best decision for her journey. We do love the Calorie Command too. Whenever we are maintaining, which is typically in November through like January or February, we switch ours to maintenance mode, and we always go for the calorie plan during that because it does give a little bit more freedom, a little bit more flexibility.
Yeah, our goal in November and December and
And
sometimes
January and
January
February.
is to maintain to not gain. Now, if we have a loss, then that's fantastic. But our active weight loss plan is genuinely February through October, so that we can enjoy those winter and holiday months without going overboard.
Yes, but I agree. I do love Calorie Command as well.
Mhm.
That's also why I have the double tracking, so I can still see the calories because I still love being able to track that as
Mhm.
well.
And then, as we mentioned, the goal isn't to eat as few calories as possible. It's about making those calories that you do consume because you need them more meaningful.
Yes, absolutely. Because I lost my train of thought, y'all.
We eating too few calories will slow your metabolism.
That's actually where I was going with that. Eating too few calories will slow your metabolism, like I said, and your body's going to hold on to that fat,
Mhm,
and it's going to be counterproductive. So I feel like a broken record, but make sure you're eating enough calories.
mhm,
Because again, calories equals energy. That's going to be the energy to go on throughout your day.
mhm,
And with that, the macros makes up those calories. But at the end of the day, while macros are great, we focus on protein.
mhm,
While macros are great, the calories is really what the biggest thing is.
mhm.
You need a calorie deficit, but make sure it's not too big of a deficit.
Mhm. Because, like we said, calories are the fuel and how we get energy. And if you have too little, you're not going to have any motivation to do any movement. I'm not going to have the energy to go chase after my
Mhm.
5-year-old. If I wanted to go out, for a walk to walk the dog, I'm not going to have the energy. So you need to have energy and you need to feel good. You don't want to feel lousy and sick all the
Yes,
time.
and you don't want to like shut down either. When I did my body scan and she told me I needed bare minimum 2,100 calories, she said, "This is what you need for your organs to work. Like, you need calories for everything in your body to work." That's what I was talking about earlier, for circulation, for breathing, for everything. You need calories for that.
Mhm,
So that's why it just makes me so sad when I see someone eating too few calories in the name of weight loss. Like, your health is very important. Making sure you're getting enough calories is part of that health.
mhm.
Um, because you're gonna be sick. You're gonna be like feel lousy if you're not getting enough
Mhm.
calories.
And then it goes back to what we talked about last week, binging. If you eat too few calories and you're starving yourself, you're
Hmm.
going to be more
It's
likely
not gonna stick.
to binge.
Hmm. That's why some of these diets out there that I see where like it's literally like a couple bars here and there, and you're only consuming 1,000 calories a day. It doesn't work. It doesn't stick. You're going to
Mhm,
eventually go back to your old way of eating because you're not getting what you need. It's
mhm,
all about balance. It's all about moderation, and you need to make sure you're getting what you need.
Exactly. As Joy mentioned, she called it starvation mode.
Hmm.
It's not good. It's not conducive. And it also doesn't, it's not healthy for our relationship with food. And it's also for not healthy, and not a good example for those that we love. Like, we don't want to set a bad example for our daughter. We have friends and family that are looking to us and looking up to us for our weight loss journey. And we want to share and be a good example of
Hmm.
how to get healthy and do it in the best, most
Hmm.
healthy way as possible.
Yes, absolutely. Also, with a calorie deficit, while it is not the goal to try to eat as few calories as possible, you do need to be in a deficit. And sometimes being in a deficit, we have a whole like podcast on volume eating, finding the most amount of food for the lowest amount of calories, which is something great. Vegetables,
Mhm.
low calories, a lot of food. Fruits, low calories, a lot of food. Protein bars,
Mhm.
I love protein bars. Quest chips, like protein chips. So while the goal is not to eat as few calories as possible, you still need to be in a deficit.
And make them more meaningful.
Mhm.
And we're not advertising. We're not
No.
paid to advertise things, but we found some
We
new
found
ones.
these. Oh my goodness.
We actually saw them at the gym and on accident, called Crisp Power.
So good.
So these are protein pretzels, and these ones are cheddar flavored. It's 6 net carbs, 25 grams of protein for this bag, and only 210 calories.
And it's almost 2 ounces. So you can technically split that in half if you wanted to.
You absolutely could make this into 2 snacks, but find things that are more meaningful but also still delicious. This gives us fuel for the day, helps keep us more full, but it makes those calories that we eat more meaningful and more
Yes.
productive.
Make the calories you have matter. Don't just go eating empty calories. That's why we mentioned the drinks.
Mhm.
Sodas are delicious, but they're empty calories. And there's a lot of foods out there that are also empty calories. So make
Mm.
sure the calories you're consuming are meaningful. Joy mentioned that she likes to start the day with a nice high protein breakfast. Absolutely. I try to make sure my breakfast is as high protein as possible because it's going to keep you full
That's the
longer.
most important meal of the day.
Mhm.
It's called breakfast because it's breaking your fast, and that sets you up for success. And Joy posts her breakfast sometimes, and her eggs and bacon look delicious.
Mhm.
People sometimes think you can't have bacon, and be on a health journey, but Joy is proof that she has eggs and bacon, and it's delicious, but she's losing weight and it's success. So she's setting herself up for success in the morning, and that helps her throughout the day. Joy, she does the high protein breakfast, then she has a snack 2 or 3 hours later, a light lunch, another snack 2 hours later, a light supper with high in proteins, and then another snack. So she has three lighter meals and three light snacks to get her through the day, and that really helps fuel her metabolism, and it gives her the energy she needs to do all that hula hooping, because Joy is a hula hooping master, and that's one of the things she loves to do to burn those calories, and that's excellent. She wouldn't have the fuel to do that if she didn't feed her body properly.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
that is awesome. All right, so do you want to talk about our recipe?
Yes, so now that's calories. If you have any other questions, we're always here. If you have
Yes.
any topics you want us to talk about, we are always here. Yeah, but anyways, the
This
recipe.
recipe is really delicious,
We
and
haven't had it in a
and
long
it makes me
time.
want to go and make one right now. It's so delicious.
Let's get this stuff and make it for lunch.
Yes, it's easiest to get a kid, but we can. Here's the recipe, and I'll let
Okay,
Courtney share it.
a chicken Caesar salad wrap. It's
Mm.
so easy, so delicious, so quick. Also has decent amount of protein. So, a tablespoon of Parmesan shredded cheese. You can also use the grated stuff if you want to. It's cheaper. Whatever floats your boat. Especially since you're only using a tablespoon of it. Half a cup of lettuce, 4 tablespoons of creamy Caesar yogurt dressing and dip. I use the Bolt House. That's what this brand is. 3 ounces of blackened chicken tenders and a 0 net carb tortilla. We use so many different kinds. Carb Counter, Extreme Wellness. There's some other ones we
A
use.
lot of different options
Mhm.
for 0 net carbs or just low carb tortillas.
Yes, but you're gonna dice the chicken up as small as you would like. Also this makes 2 servings. Um, yeah, 2 servings. Sorry, I had to double check that that was right.
Mix all the ingredients together in a mixing bowl, except for the tortilla.
It says 2 servings, but I think it's one. Anyways,
Oh well,
anyways,
we keep an eye on it.
you'll need two wraps. That's wrong. Um, I messed up my recipe. Anyways, dice the chicken as small as you would like. Mix all the ingredients together in the mixing bowl except for the tortilla. Add the mixture to the tortilla and fold it like a burrito. And
You got
you're
to
done.
do it like an expert burrito. I used to work at Taco Bell when I was in high school, so I do all the burrito wrapping
Mhm.
in the house to make sure it doesn't fall out when you eat it. But this is delicious, and I'll let her go over the calories and the macros.
Yes. This is 33.5 grams protein, 22.3 carbs, only 7.7 net carbs, and 302 calories between 6 and 8 bites, depending on the plan.
Yeah, so that's the beauty of the net carb system. If you're on the keeping keto plan, is the fiber helps balance out and bring down those carbs,
Yep.
the net carbs.
Yep.
Yes. So let us know what you think of this recipe. And as always, this recipe is posted, will be posted on Facebook and Instagram, but also as of a couple weeks ago, they'll be added on the Healthiest website on the blog. So you can take a look at all of our recipes and let us know what you like.
Yep.
Yes. So thank you so much for joining us this week. We're so glad to have you on with our journey, and we're happy to be on your journey. Like
Yes.
Joy, she thanked us for recognizing her journey. She's
Absolutely.
a really big supporter of us. So she sends us messages throughout the week, and it really makes our day and our week, and it helps us keep going. So we want to do the same thing for you all. So feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions or concerns or you need support. We need the
Yep.
biggest support system ever because we're all in this together to get healthy and get to our goals. So I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week, and hope you have you enjoy your week. And we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Joy. Bye, Regina. Bye, Lydia. Bye, everyone. Bye, Barbara. Have a good one.